have filed an ITI to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, demanding some answers in respect of revenues accrued from the Energy Sector Levies Act 2025 as at March 31st, 2026. Signed by the Deputy Minority Chief Whip and the Member of Parliament for the Tolong Constituency, Habib Idris. So he joins us on the telephone line to tell us more about this request they are making to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Habib, thank you very much for your time. Why have you found it necessary to make this request?
Thank you. Good evening and good evening to your listeners. It is necessary at this point because the country, we are exercising doomsday. We are experiencing doomsday everywhere in the country. And what we do know is that when the minister brought this energy sector recovery levy, the argument was to the effect that they are adding 1 cedi to a litre. When these monies are realized, they will be able to use it to pay the IPPs that they owe, so that's the independent power producers. Then they will be able to generate the capacity that we need to be able to power our plants. At the moment, we are aware that they owe the IPPs over $500 million, which have not been paid. And then we know that power generation in terms of capacity now is below belt. That is why we are experiencing this. The second reason is that when we pass this act into law, Section 4 provides that the minister shall submit to Parliament an annual report on the management of the account established under Section 3 for the preceding year by 31st of March. 31st of March has passed. Today is 29th of April. The minister haven't briefed us or the country with regards to how much they've been able to realize. So the intent of this RTI is for the minister first to inform or let Ghanaians know that how much they have been able to collect so far with this energy sector levy as amended 2025. How much in terms of the 1 cedi that we are paying per litre, the e-levy they introduced, that is the energy sector levy. How much have we been able to get? What did they use that money for that we are still haven't done so? Because it doesn't make any sense that you are paying 1 cedi per litre on a gallon of fuel that you buy. That will be around 3 or 4 cedis that you are paying if you are buying a gallon. And yet still you are experiencing doomsday in your area. Independent power or IPPs are saying that government are owing them in excess of $500 million. So we need to know this and they need to comply with the law. And mind you, they rushed this into Parliament under certificate of agency to introduce this one cedi per litre of fuel. We, the minority, registered our displeasure, our dissatisfaction that we were not in support of it. We said it was another form of cancelling e-levy that was introduced and introducing another e-levy to be able to put burdens on Ghanaians. But we were told, and the argument was what? It is okay to pay 1 cedi more to keep your lights on. Now the question is that we are paying the 1 cedi. Why is our lights not on? We were told that we pay the 1 cedi because they'll be able to use it to control fuel. We all know when MPP exiting power, we handed fuel to them. Diesel and that of petrol. Diesel was around 14 Ghana cedi. We know that we have paid over 16 Ghana cedi of payment for diesel. The question is why? And why must we continue to pay this money? And what are they using the money for? Ghanaians deserve to know when they are sleeping in darkness and when businesses are collapsing and when factories are laying off workers because they cannot be able to keep the lights on.
But Habib, the Ministry of Energy has not told us that the current challenges we are going through is as a result of funding or money, because they have explained that there's an issue in respect of the substation in Akosombo and the changing of transformers across the country. That is what is causing doom. So they've not told us about issues of funding or liquidity. Neither have we heard from the IPPs complaining that government is owing them. So where are you getting your $500 million figures from?
I was a board member of ECG when we were in government, and I know how this payment is being done. Mind you, if government is arguing that the Akosombo fire outbreak is the reason why we are experiencing Dumso. Ask Ghanaians whether they were experiencing Dumso before that fire outbreak or not. We were experiencing it in my house. I could be there more than 2-3 days. I don't have electricity, and the Akosombo matter did not happen. And if they are telling us that they are changing transformers, it is the first time that we are changing transformers in the country. We did change transformers during our time. And when we were handing over, when the MPP government, the Dr. Baumia Akufo-Addo-led administration, handing over power with the electricity on. So they cannot argue because they are changing transformers. So when you change transformers, are you changing transformers in the evening too? Are you changing the transformers 24/7? And why is it that everywhere? The minister should be able to tell us and should be bold to tell us, because we were told that we should pay the 1 cedi per litre because they will use that to keep our lights on. We heard many people argue that it makes economic sense to pay 1 cedi per litre to keep your light on. We are paying the 1 cedi per litre, yet our light is not on. So if government is not telling us the right thing, or is not telling us the truth, we deserve to know the truth. And that is why I have exercised my right under Article of the 1992 of the Constitution and the initiative levy, that the minister should be able to tell us how much money he has been able to realize and what have they used the money for, what was it used for. They should be able to feel that, because it doesn't make sense to me to continue to pay the 1 cedi per litre when I don't have light in my house. Well, it doesn't make sense to me to continue paying the 1 cedi per litre when I go to the pump, when I used to fill my tank about 800 Ghana cedi, and now to pay about 1,200, 1,300 to fill the same tank. It doesn't make sense. So definitely the government need to come out and they need to be clear with us. They need to be honest with us. They need to be straightforward with us, and they don't need to be able to do certain things to divert attention from what actually is going on. Irrespective of whatever you do, whether you are firing the CEO of Greco, you are reshuffling people from managers from Ashanti region, it does not keep the light on. What Ghanaians want is to keep the light on. And what we want to know is that we can't continue to pay this money that you promised us that you were going to use it to solve the crisis in the energy sector, and yet we are experiencing doom. So it doesn't make any sense for us to continue to pay. When you go full at the pump, you are still paying around 14, 15, 16 for diesel and other things. It doesn't make sense.
In your request, you are also asking for a full list of specific expenditures in which the revenue mentioned above, have been applied or utilized. Exactly what do you mean?
Yes, because in the law that we passed in Parliament, there was expectation as to in terms of how expenditure lines were to go. So if the ministry is able to feed that in and let us know that this is how we have been able to use it, then as a lawmaker, the people represented, I will know that yes, the law that we have passed, the ministry is compliant. Whether they have been able to realize 100 million, 15 million, 20 million, or 10 million, and whether they use it, either they are buying fuel to power our power building capacities, or they've been able to use it to pay the IPPs. But if it is the case that the money has been diverted to do something else, then it should be something else. But we are very aware that they should be able to brief Ghanaians, and Ghanaians deserve to know, because it is our money that they came under certificate of agency and pass it and rush it through Parliament, and then we were able to pass this, and Ghanaians started paying this money. So Ghanaians deserve to know. And as a people representative of the good people of Tolong, I am acting in my capacity as a member of Parliament for Tolong and the Deputy Minority Chief Whip, that it is enough that our people are sleeping in darkness. It is enough that cold store businesses are collapsing. It is enough that government cannot be straightforward with us and tell us the right thing.
Have you given them any timeline per your request?
Yes, per the law, within 14 days, they should be able to respond to that. And I have actually given my email and my contact number in Parliament. I have written on my letterhead. My phone number is there. And then if they want to reach out to me, they will reach out to me. And I will not stop there. When I get that information, if they comply with the law, they don't comply with the law. When Parliament will convene, this is a matter I'll continue to keep. If government want the right thing to do, then government should come and repeal that law, because it doesn't make any sense why we should continue paying 1 cedi per litre to keep our light on, but yet our light is always off.
Is the minority not playing politics with this whole Doomsaw issue? Is it not politics the minority is playing with this?
Can you ask Ghanaians who are sleeping in darkness whether it is politics is being played? Are they offering the light of the NDCs and leaving the light of the MPPs on? Or what kind of politics? The politics that we have been played here is government not being upfront with us. When we had issues during the same Transformers change, we heard what the NDC were saying. And I understand when you were doing the introduction that Honorable Kofi Juma have been arrested. So this is the politics that we are talking about. Government want to divert people's attention from doing so, and they just go and pick up somebody in the name of people to talk about it. This is diversional tactics of the government. That after 1 year, 4 months, you are now arresting somebody because allegedly you think that he has done something. When Ghanaians are experiencing serious doom so, when there is total deceit, unemployment is skyrocketing in the country, you have lied to Ghanaians on your way to power. You promised the youth of Ghana of 1 job, 3 people, 3 shifts. Nothing like that has happened. You have promised Ghanaian women that you are going to open a women's development bank. I have nothing, no branch in my constituency, Tolom, my district, nothing in my region, northern region, up to now, and we continue to tell people that this is politics. If there is anybody playing politics, then it is this current government that is making a lot of settings, that is deceiving Ghanaians, that is not being honest with Ghanaians, and that is actually ripping us off.
Habib, thank you very much for your time. Habib Idrisu is Deputy Minority Whip and the Member of Parliament for the Tolong constituency in the Northern Region. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. The number to send to is 0539 986 996. 0539 986 996. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. MTN.
Electroland Ghana Limited, yeah, Mamo, Achedi Kesio. Where ya de my dread for woman ye. A sansa munu credi, I saw ye ninti. Ye Mamo, Achedi Kesia pa. Achedi Kesia, ye de mo enemy. Every Accra, a Kotamali. Ghana Fanenina. Electroland, a number 1. Near here is better Samsung, TCL, Media, any Nasco Niama, a Electroland showroom. Any anamo si for one more Ghana Fanenina. And also dial *928 *8888 hash. Open to Miss Wako register.electrolandraffles.com. And now by now watching your Bosumia crowd EB. Now wait to me and Yachedia Kesiepa. A free TVs, ACs, fridges, gas cookers, washing machines, sound towers, mobile phones, and in your kikawa yede mawonkwa. Jumedi and the Lekaitos platform no Ajiatu. Kaisa in Shisha Kakawa home. Electroland Ghana. Rewarding your loyalty the big way.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Remember, Eyewitness News is also live on our affiliates across the country.
In the Western region, it's Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5, both in Takrade. In the Bono region, tune into Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, you can listen to us via Adrimpa 99.9 FM in Inkaria. In the Volta region, we are Heritage 107.3 FM in Howe, and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sugakope. In the northern region, we are Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the upper east region, it is Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. In Bolga, Tanga, you can listen to us via Bolga 102.7 FM. In the northeast region, we are Nobia 98.1 FM in Nalerigu, Radio Jimbali 107.3 megahertz in Jimbali, and in the upper west region, we are Pupeli 92.7 FM in Wa.
Remember to send your WhatsApp message. The number to send to 0539 986 996. A few of your WhatsApp messages are here. Let me read them to you. The majority must be careful enough to give accounts of the collection of the levy. They promised to clear it in March and must therefore honor their promise to Ghanaians. And Ghanaians must know what the levy is being used for. This is from Akapo in Ahafo Mem. Whilst accountability is important, it is frustrating to hear demands from those who previously undermined the energy sector. The focus should be on constructive solution, not questioning the revenue accrued from the energy levy. It is time to make sure progress instead of complain. Let's work together to improve the sector rather than bring it down with mistakes. This is from Wales Yoga in Abotia, Volta region. Minority should be probed into energy sector levy is bogus and lack basis. The minority should tell Ghanaians, apart from relocating the power plant to Kumasi, how many kilowatts of power did they add to the grid? Have they also forgotten the mountain that Akufo-Addo administration left nearly to collapse the sector? They should give us a break. About Papa Jones Adoboy in La. Please tell the Minister for Food and Agri that the graduates of agricultural colleges seek financial clearance for employment because we have been left behind. This is from Frank from Saboba, Northern Region. Last one from Joseph in Akasori says, last time I said that this government, things MPP government couldn't do and get it right. They must do everything possible to ensure that the confidence the Ghanaian people have in them is not overruled. Water is coming. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. For some more stories.
Well, in the Volta region, President John Mahama says construction works under the West Africa Coastal Areas project are expected to begin soon, assuring residents along coastal areas of government's commitment to address coastal erosion in parts of the Volta region. The Waka project, supported by the World Bank with a funding of $150 million, is designed to protect vulnerable sections of Ghana's coastline stretching through areas including Ketu South and parts of Angloga. Here is President John Dramani Mahama.
We got information about what happened with the sea breaking through, and so today we decided to come and take a look at what is happening. All this area is part of a project area that is called WACA, and it's a World Bank project. We already have done some work ourselves. Earlier, when I was president, we did the Kleotoko Sea Defense, all that area. Before that, Rawlings government had done the Keta Sea Defense. And then we also did Blekusu 1, and then Blekusu 2 is currently ongoing. The rest of the coast is supposed to be covered by the World Bank $150 million Waka project. And that includes this area all the way to Ketu South and parts of Angloga. There's going to be sea defense, and there are also going to be groins built into the sea to break the currents, the strong waves, so that it will come back to the coast in a very gentle manner. There will also be planting of coconut trees on the beaches in order to stabilize the soil.
That was President John Dramani Mahama. Away from that, Vice President of Imani Africa, Bryce Simmons, has criticized the Heath Goldfields Trafigura agreement, arguing that local ownership of a mine does not necessarily translate into local control. According to the policy analyst, the prepayment agreement tied to the deal grants Trafigura, which is providing $65 million in debt financing, significant influence over key operational and financial decisions. Speaking during a webinar on the future of the Bogoso Pristia mine, he urged Ghanaian authorities to pay closer attention to the details of mining agreements in order to better safeguard the country's interest.
What has happened so far is that because he needs money desperately, he signed on to a contract with Trafigura that hands over this regulatory, it does less delegate this regulatory authority from the Ghanaian authorities to a foreign company, which is the whole point around we being very careful in using emotive language like ownership, local ownership, when we don't look behind the scenes at the detail that is necessary to understand what control really means. Because effectively, you have a company that's owned by a Ghanaian, for sure, but because it needs money so desperately, because due diligence was not done around where it would get money from, it's now signed an agreement that has delegated a lot of the power that ought to be in the hands of the Ghanaian government to a Swiss company. So is that really local Ghanaian ownership? And we get always trapped in this emotive language and inability to look carefully at detail, which is what I call the catanomics framework. We are big on the big vision. We want local ownership of mines. But when it comes to the policy dynamics of how you actually attain it, which requires systematic and methodical planning, then we lose sight.
Yeah, the Vice President of Imani Africa, Bride Simmons.
Now let's go to another story. The former managing director of the of GIHOC, Maxwell Kofi Juma, we are told, has been arrested by officials of the Economic and Organized Crime Office Yoko. The arrest follows a raid in his private residence in Kumasi somewhere last week. Let's get more details on this and speak to Paul Yando. He's the Ashanti Regional Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. Paul, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. What do you know about this arrest?
Good evening, my brother, and good evening to your listeners. And you know, it's a very week today that Yoko invaded Honorable Maxwell Kofi Juma private residence and went into his bedroom and took some valuable for whatever investigations that he wanted to undertake. So he wrote a letter to Yoko boss asking about whatever they wanted to do with regards to that invasion. And so Yoko boss also wrote a letter to him that he should come so that they discuss whatever was written in the letter. Upon request, he went there yesterday. And then when he went, the questioning and the kind of interrogation that were done there were totally different from the letter that he wrote. Now they are asking him about some machinery that were at the Abosso Glass Factory. And he told them that taking over of Abosso Glass Factory was and a board decision, and that whatever went on there, there was a project manager there that was supposed to have all documentation on them. And so they can go ahead and check the records of GIHOC so that they can find whatever they want. But I think Raymond Archer wasn't satisfied with the answers given by Honorable Maxwell Kofi Juma. So he left him there since yesterday till now. He has not been attended to. The officers there are also saying that because Raymond Archer isn't around, nobody can have a bail for him. So Maxwell Kofi Juma is at the premises of Yoko with no one attending to him. He does not even have access to his lawyers, his drugs and food and water to survive.
So, Paul, if I get you right, the arrest took place yesterday until now. He's still in the custody of Yoko.
Hello?
I'm saying that if I get you right, the arrest took place yesterday until today. He's still in the custody of Yoko. Is that it?
Yes, he was invited to their office in Accra yesterday, so he went there. And when he went there, that was when the interrogation started. And what we were asking him was totally different from what he wrote today.
And so after the interrogation,
wasn't satisfied, so he left him at his office, and he's just there. Nobody is attending to him because the boss isn't around.
And you said that his lawyers have not been able to have access to him?
Exactly, because Raymond Archer isn't there for the lawyer to talk to him. And that they will also not allow Maxwell Kofi Juma to see anybody because Raymond Archer has not instructed that it should be anyone.
Why do you keep mentioning the name of Mr. Raymond Archer? Is he the one doing the interrogation? Because you are not in there, so how are you able to determine that it is Mr. Raymond Archer who is refusing to let him go, or the one still keeping him?
It's Raymond Archer, not the head of Yoko.
Yes, he's the head of the institution, but it doesn't mean that he's the one in charge of the interrogation.
That was signed for his invitation, for interrogation, was signed by Raymond Archer. The letter that was permitted them, the local officials, to invade Master Kofi Juma's residence was signed by Raymond Archer. So we have to lay every blame at the doorstep of Raymond Archer. And he's the one doing the interrogation now. I think he's not around. All the small officers cannot talk to Master Kofi Juma because everybody is afraid of Raymond Archer.
What are you going to do now? I mean, the party. What is the party next line of action?
What I will do now is what I'm doing with you. You will talk to the media and then plead that whoever that Raymond Archer will listen to should go and talk to him so that he can come and talk to the lawyers of Master Kofi Juma so that he can have his bail and come home. Because he's a 76-year-old man who lives on drugs.
And you said that he was invited for questions. Do you know why he was invited on specific questions? Do you know? You have an idea?
Initially, I asked him when they raided his house. We asked about it and they said that it was some cars that they think that he did not hand them to give up. That is why they went to his bedroom. So I even questioned that if it is cars that you are looking for, must you enter somebody's bedroom? Now it has also turned to scrap some machinery that were at Abosu Glass Factory. So if some machinery had got missing, must you invade people's bedroom to look for loot machinery? So the search keeps on popping up with different stories. So we are waiting for the next line of story that will be told.
But if Mr. Kofi Juma did something during his time as the CEO, you don't think he should account for it? Investigations must be conducted into his
Your line is bad. I can't get you.
Paul, can you hear me? Is the line better now?
Hello, your line isn't good.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, Paul, can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm afraid the telephone line is not our best of friends at the moment. Paul Yando, Ashanti Regional Director of Communications for the MPP, is unable to hear me as of now. He's speaking on the back of the arrest of the former Managing Director of Gihog Distilleries Company Limited, Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma, who we understand has been arrested by officials of the Yoko. According to the narration being given by Paul Yando, he was invited to come to the Accra office or the head office of Yoko here in Accra for some questioning. After those questions, he was kept there until now, or till today. Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma is still in the custody of the Yoko. He's not been given access to his lawyers, neither has he been given access to his medication, because according to Paul Yando, he's a 76-year-old man who lives on medication. And so, till we speak, he's not been able to have access to his lawyers and also his medication. Thankfully enough, we have his lawyer on the telephone line now, Nana Bein Akon, who is lawyer for Maxwell Kofi Juma. Nana Bein, thank you very much for your time. What do you know about the continued detention of your client?
Yes, good evening to you and your cherished listeners. I think by now everybody is aware of Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma's detention at Yoko. In fact, let me start this way. We recall that some few weeks ago we heard of a raid in his residence in Kumasi, where some officers of Yoko went there to search the whole place. And according to him, they took some items. And since then, he had not heard from them. And it is not as if that he was invited for any investigation. So he thought that Yoko had turned blind eye to that. So he wrote to them, requesting that they sit together so that he finds out from them what they want, and that also assist in any investigation. And that's what culminated into a meeting with Yoko yesterday. In the meeting, they brought other matters that, they are investigating him for some financial matters, causing financial loss to the state, something like that. And so they started bringing up matters that he was not aware of and hearing for the first time. That was very late in the evening. So, according to them, they had not completed their interrogation. So, thinking that knowing who Mr. Kofi Duma is and the fact that he's always available to assist in investigation, and to the extent that he's the one who initiated this meeting, we thought that there would have been no issue with bail, only for them to indicate that they are going to detain him very late yesterday in the night. And he has still since been in detention.
Do you have access to him? Because we are told that you don't have access to him. Do you?
Yes, we have access to him. I've seen him. As some other people have come to see.
And so you saw him?
Access to him.
You saw him today?
Oh, I saw him some few minutes ago.
Okay. So
he's very fine. He's okay. He's very much okay.
What's the next line of action for the legal team now that he's still in detention? What are the options available to you now?
First of all, we are seeking to secure his bail because we are still within the 48-hour constitutional window. We are still within that, so we are hopeful to secure bail for him. We are anticipating that before we leave the premises today, we'll secure bail for him, and one step at a time. Let's see what happens today, and then we'll take it from there.
Have you been told of any charges yet?
That he has not been charged at all. He has not been charged. They are still investigating. In fact, investigation has just begun, and we just don't understand why he will still be detained in the circumstance when he can come at any time to continue with investigation. But they insist that it is within their scope of mandate. So we are cooperating with them, and then hoping that before we are done, we will be able to secure bail.
You are hoping for bail, but do you get any indication that indeed he will be granted this bail?
Yes, we are still in discussion with them, so we want to see what will happen. We are hopeful. That's all that I can say.
Nana, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Nana Beyin Akon is the lawyer for former CEO of GIHOC, Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma. We're told that he's been in detention of Yoko since yesterday. His lawyers are working to secure him bail as we speak. And as you just said, his lawyer, Nana Beyin Akon, speak to us there. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hello, my name is Wakadri, and I'm a man of many voices. Some people fall for Pamela.
Good afternoon, this is Pamela. We're revalidating some mobile app accounts. Kindly confirm your details.
Or my other victims who think I'm calling from.
Hello, customer experience here. Your account has been blocked. Please provide your PIN so we can reactivate it immediately.
Others panic and fall for that one. Dear customer, click the link in the SMS we just sent to you to upgrade to your ATM services. My favorites are the ones who click first and think later.
Hey, Randy.
Be honest. Like play, you could also fall for this. Stay safe. Remember, EcoBank will never call, email, or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details. Pay attention to detail.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Sunny Gold Brown Sugar, available in a shop near you.
Sunny Gold Wakashi.
This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Remember, the Ministry of Energy told us of a development at the Akosombo substation leading to intermittent power supply in the country. As of last night, we were told that 4 out of the 6 units are on board supplying electricity to Ghanaians across the country. Let's get an update on the situation, because we are told that engineers are working around the clock to bring back all 6 units for full work on it. So let's get some updates on the situation. Richmond Roxon speaks for the Ministry of Energy. He joins us on the phone line again to give us an update on the situation. Richmond, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. You were here yesterday. You gave us an update. We were told that 3 of them last night. We were told 4. What is the general update today?
Good evening, Samuel, and good evening to your cherished listeners. As you rightly put it, last night, I understand when we spoke, we had 3 of the units of Akosombo come back on stream and had been synchronized or connected to the national grid, which means that they were generating power. Around 9 p.m. last night, we had a 4th unit also come on stream, and so as we speak, we are doing about 70% of the capacity of Akosombo. This has improved significantly the supply plan or outlook when it comes to power that we need to distribute to the various homes. The engineers are working tirelessly to bring the 5th one up. They've assured us that very soon the 5th one should come up. All in all, they've told us that by weekend we should have all 6, and so we have our fingers crossed. But the good news is that with what we have currently, our supply plan looks pretty good. Currently, we are meeting our demand, and we expect that generally supply of electricity across the nation should look pretty good. And so if you have a challenge with your power supply, if your lights are still off, it's likely going to be localized fault. And we'll encourage you that reach ECG on 0302-611-611 to lodge a complaint, or you can contact any of us on those or the portals of either the distribution company or the ministry, and will ensure that it is attended to as soon as possible.
With 75% of the problem being rectified, will it be right for us to say that indeed we are getting out of the woods?
At this point, I can see that we should be able to have the needed supply to produce the power that we need as a country. I won't say we are completely out of the woods, but we've made significant progress. And so generally the supply looks good, generation looks good, and we expect all our compatriots to have light. Largely we should have good power supply across the country. I've spoken to a number of people. CTFM, I'm sure that you've also done some engagement. I know you do that often. and generally people will confirm that they have power restored.
Richmond, thank you very much for your time. Richmond Roxon speaks for the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. It says 75% of the problem has been rectified. They are still working on a few challenges as at now. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Statement guys coming in from the Ghana High Commission in South Africa and is advising Ghanaians in that country on the back of recent attacks on Ghanaians and other foreign nationals in that country, and is signed by the High Commission. And it said the High Commission urges all to take note of the significant protests currently taking place in Johannesburg, Central Business District today, Wednesday, the 29th of April 2026, by the March and March Out unemployment and undocumented foreign nationals. It has already led to major traffic disruption and interruption to normal business activities in the CBD. Given the nature of the protest, there is heightened risk of tension, particularly towards foreign nationals. Please advise all to exercise caution throughout the day. It is advisable to avoid the Johannesburg CBD unless travel there is absolutely necessary. Those who live in Johannesburg are urged to remain indoors or in secure locations and limit unnecessary movement. The statement says members of the community should also be reminded not to engage with protesters under any circumstances or even if approached or provoked, to ensure that their safety is their priority at all time. Carrying valid identification and relevant documentation is also important. They continue that please stay in close communication with members of our community and check in on individuals who may be particularly vulnerable. Parents and guardians should ensure their children remain in safe environments and avoid travel through affected areas. Please share only verified information. Again, all is urged to remain calm and alert. Priority will be given to your safety and well-being at all time of every member of the community. And this is a statement issued by the Ghana High Commission in South Africa in respect of recent developments in that country. We're told that today, Wednesday, the 29th of April, there was a massive protest in the Johannesburg business district against foreign nationals who are unemployed and those with undocumented foreign nationals. And also today, a statement has just come in from the minority in Parliament on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and is signed by the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, a member of Parliament for the Damango Constituency, Samuel Abu-Jinapo. And portions of the statement says the minority acknowledged the steps taken by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzato Ablakwa, including his engagement with South African authorities and the provision of assistance to Ghanaians in distress. We also take note of the public condemnation of these attacks by the President of South Africa. While these are necessary steps, they must also be followed by clear and decisive action. The statement says, at this stage, what is required is measurable action by both presidents and governments of South Africa and Ghana. On the part of South Africa, there must be a prompt arrest and prosecution of those responsible, as well as accountability for any failure by security agencies to intervene. There must also be immediate and practical steps to ensure protection of foreign nationals in affected areas and across the country. On the part of the government of Ghana, the response must be firmer and more structured. The minority calls for immediate presidential level engagement between the President of Ghana and the President of South Africa to secure clear commitment on protection and endorsement. Additional support should be deployed without delay to assist Ghanaians on the ground. A sort of a statement issued by the minority in Ghana's parliament, special members on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and signed by the ranking member on that committee, Samuel Abu-Jinapo, the member of parliament for the Damango constituency. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra.
Now, the coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens, Awula Sewa, has stressed the need for strict enforcement of mining regulations, insisting that holding a license does not grant companies unrestricted operational freedom. According to her, mining firms must adhere to clearly defined rules and procedures, warning that any breach should attract the appropriate legal consequences. Her comments come on the back of a defense mounted by the Chief of Salman, Nana Kwame Bentum II, in support of Adamus Resources Limited, whose mining lease has been revoked for illegal mining. Speaking to Citi News, Haula Sewa maintained that while dialogue is important, compliance with the law must remain paramount.
As Ghanaians, we should be on the side of the facts. They had a mining license. What does it entail? Where is their concession? What are they supposed to be doing? A license is not freedom to do exactly as you please. You have a license and there are rules and there are certain steps that you have to take. You must observe them. If you are in breach, law needs to follow. There are consequences for breaches. If they are following the rules and regulations, then obviously their license shouldn't be revoked. But if they have breached the terms of their license, I'm not quite sure that there's much to say, apart from the fact that if they are unhappy about the revocation of their license, of course they are at liberty to go to court and challenge the revocation. And then I don't think there should be any qualms about what is taking place. We have to be robust about enforcing laws and regulations. There's a reason that was given for the revocation of the license. What about dialogue? If, for example, you are going to build on a Ramsar site, the law says you cannot build on Ramsar site. So it's not a question of dialogue. It's a question of abiding by laws and regulations.
Aula Sewa is the coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens. Now, the Ghana Police Service has arrested 2 persons for possession of firearms and ammunition without lawful authority in the Nkwanta municipality. The suspects, identified as Richard Quimby and Latif Adam, were picked up at the Brewaniase barrier during an intelligence-led operation by the Nkwanta Municipal Police Command. A search on their vehicle uncovered 1 pump-action gun, 7,000 AAA cartridges, 3,000 BB cartridges, and 1,124 rounds of AK-47 ammunition. The items were concealed in plastic sacks and boxes under tarpaulins. Away from that, the executive director of the Africa Media Bureau, Samuel Atamensa, has expressed concern over the slow pace at which Ghana's media industry is adapting to rapid technological change. According to him, the survival of traditional media platforms now depends on urgent and far-reaching reforms. Delivering the welcome address at a major conference on media convergence in Ghana, themed The Future of Media Practice, Education and Policy in Ghana, Mr. Atamensa cautioned that success in today's environment demands deliberate and proactive adaptation.
At a critical moment in the evolution of Ghana's media landscape, traditional media, radio, television, and print are no longer operating in isolation, as we can all attest to. Technology has transformed how stories are told, how audiences engage, and how media businesses survive and thrive. That's if we will thrive. This conference is not just about examining the change, it's about shaping the future. It's about bringing together academia and industry to ask important questions. Are we preparing for the next generation of media professionals to embrace the realities of tomorrow? Are our newsrooms adapting fast enough?
Samuel Atamensa, however, stressed that while adaptation has become essential, it is equally important to safeguard the core values of ethics, credibility, and public trust. These principles, he insisted, must remain at the heart of the industry even as innovation continues to accelerate.
How do we ensure that ethics, credibility, and public trust remain at the center of innovation? At Africa Media Bureau, we believe that the future of media depends on collaboration between you lecturers that are represented here, the editors that are seated here, the students, and the professionals, between policy and practice. We are honored to host some of the brightest minds and most experienced voices in the industry today, and we trust that the conversations here will lead to practical recommendations, stronger partnerships, and lasting impact. Thank you for being part of this important dialogue.
You are the executive director of the African Media Bureau, Samuel Atta Mensah. Meanwhile, in his keynote address, the CEO of ABN Holdings, George Chumesi, highlighted how foreign media outlets have increasingly dominated African narratives, often projecting negative imagery of the continent. He called on African media organizations to collaborate in reclaiming and owning their stories.
There's a growing movement to use converged platforms to take control of African stories. By building complete editorial and technological ecosystems, African media can position their narratives as levers of economic and geopolitical power. Even now, in 2026, the shaping of Africa's image on a Pan-African level and on the international stage remains beyond the control of Africa. Rather, foreign media entities have continued to play a phenomenal role in shaping the image of Africa. As such, we face the paradox in Africa that Africans do not present or represent themselves, and in our endeavors to construct a positive image of Africa, we remain challenged by a long legacy of negative narratives and an image of Africans stretching from the image of blacks in antiquity, the classical age, Judeo-Christian literature, and Islamic civilizations, to the crisis news that reverts present-day media coverage of Africa.
You just heard the Chief Executive Officer of ABN Holdings, George Chumesi.
This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Coming up next is Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, and is brought to you by the Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic Verse. Do more, shine more. Big up.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house, oh.
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up. Join the Republic Verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. Kwesufele says over the details now. Global cocoa prices are projected to plunge by more than half in 2026 after reaching historic highs in recent years. This is according to the latest commodity markets outlook by the World Bank. The report forecasts that cocoa prices will fall from about $7.80 per kilogram in 2025 to roughly $3.80 per kilogram in 2026, representing a 51.3% decline before edging up slightly to around $4 per kilogram in 2027. There's more in the following report.
The sharp drop reflects expectations that global cocoa supply will gradually recover after severe shortages that drove prices to record levels over the past 2 years. The outlook forms part of the World Bank's April 2026 Commodity Markets Outlook, which anticipates a broad cooling in beverage commodity prices. The report shows the beverage price index, which includes cocoa and coffee, falling significantly in 2026 after surging in 2024 and 2025. According to the projections, cocoa was among the commodities that experienced extraordinary price spikes during the recent supply crisis. However, improving production conditions and a gradual adjustment in global supply chains are expected to ease market pressures going forward. Despite the projected decline, the report suggests cocoa prices may remain relatively elevated compared with historical averages, reflecting continued volatility in agricultural commodity markets. For major cocoa producing countries such as Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, which together account for the majority of global cocoa supply, the expected drop in prices could have implications for export earnings and farmer incomes if production rebounds strongly. The report also notes that broader commodity markets are likely to remain sensitive to global economic growth trends, geopolitical developments, and weather-related shocks that affect agricultural output.
That was a report filed by the Citi Business News Desk and data compiled by Channel 1 TV's research desk under the Channel 1 TV market price barometer tracking the pulse of prices in Accra. Away from that, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is calling for a review of Ghana's petroleum agreement, citing emerging uncertainties in the global oil market. The call follows the decision by the United Arab Emirates to exit the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, COPEC, a move COPEC warns could disrupt coordinated oil output and introduce volatility into global supply dynamics. Speaking to Citi Business News, COPEC's Executive Secretary Duncan Amoah urged policymakers to prioritize strategic planning for the domestic petroleum market to cushion the country against potential external shocks.
Angola did that in 2024, and I'm not surprised that UAE also deciding to opt out. What that would mean for the global supply basket is some bit of uncertainty. Now, the UAE would have liberty to put onto the market any volumes that it unilaterally desires to, without as much of OPEC breathing on it to see, that they follow production quota sharing that it ascribes to it. And so for us in Ghana, I think that we just need to look at a concrete situation where you no longer can depend on the international community to give you specific volumes. And that could mean that an uncertain future. So if you would need to review some of your petroleum agreements locally, you will need to do so in order to be able to plan for your local market. Because again, a very major block as OPEC is seeing some of even the founding partners deciding to opt out. That could mean a very uncertain future.
Duncan Amoah is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Now, after tracking household staples, protein and fresh food prices, the Channel 1 TV market price barometer now shifts to energy, transport and utilities, the underlying cost drivers of price determination in the economy. Data from this index show how cost pressures are transmitted beyond the pump and into everyday goods and services.
According to the Channel 1 TV Market Price Barometer Energy Transport and Utilities Index, the average market price of petrol is 13 cedis 27 pesos per litre, while diesel records an average market price of 16 cedis 10 pesos per litre. Liquefied petroleum gas records an average market price of 16 cedis 31 pesos per kilogram. Charcoal, a key alternative household energy source, records an average market price of 140 cedis per mini bag. The distribution of average market prices within the basket underscores a critical pattern. While pump prices remain relatively uniform, downstream costs, particularly transport fares and informal energy sources, are adjusting more fluidly. Diesel in particular remains a central cost anchor, given its role in logistics and commercial transport, effectively shaping how prices are passed through the value chain. At the same time, the sustained average price of charcoal points to continued reliance on alternative energy sources. Transport fares continue to reflect route-specific dynamics, with the average fare from Medina to Circle at 8 cedis, Ashaiman to Circle at 18 cedis, and Kaswa to Circle at 10 cedis. The data reinforces the role of energy and transport as a transmission channel for broader inflationary pressures.
That was Nashika Caesar with data compiled by Channel 1 TV's research desk under the Channel 1 TV market price barometer tracking the pulse of prices in Accra. Well, that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Melody Fafak Potife. Up next is Point Blank.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop counsel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
Mr. Kanono, we are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying research to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
The World Cup is coming, and this time you're not just watching it, you're living it. Much Experience Hospitality is giving you front row access to football's biggest stage in absolute style. Think VIP stadium seating, exclusive lounges, gourmet dining, and priority access. No stress, no hassle, just pure football luxury. This isn't just a ticket. This is the World Cup experience. With over a decade as an official FIFA sales agent, Much Experience Hospitality knows exactly how to turn a match into a lifetime memory. So upgrade your World Cup. Call 055 155 1119. Visit matchexphospitality.com or walk into any Absa Bank branch, our official banking partner, today. Much Experience Hospitality. Don't just watch the game, live it. Much Experience Hospitality is doing this with Absa Bank as its official banking partner and Glyco as your official travel insurance partner.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, and this is Point Blank. On Point Blank tonight, we go to Parliament, and my guest is the Member of Parliament for the 2nd D Constituency in the Western Region. We're talking about Blay Nyameke Ama, a first-time Member of Parliament. He also serves on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee and the ranking on the Petitions Committee. We'll talk to you about happenings in the House and happenings in the constituency as Honorable. Welcome and thank you very much for your time.
Cool.
Yeah, you serve as a ranking on the Petitions Committee.
Yes.
What really is the job of the Petitions Committee? Tell me.
Let me greet your listeners and my people in 2nd D. I'll say good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. The Petitions Committee is just about dealing with issues that crops up in the country. Okay. It's not just about writing petitions about parliamentarians or people working in parliament.
Okay.
But it deals with issues and problems that crops up in the community. Let's say if you go to, let's say in the mining areas, whereby citizens and constituents are having problem with environmental issues or the operational activities of the mining company and all that, they can send in a petition. But what it is the petition has to go through a parliamentarian to present it on the floor. Then the speaker will then refer the petition to the committee.
So if I have an issue in my area,
yes,
I need to first send that petition to my MP.
Yes, any MP, not necessarily
any MP.
Any MP.
Okay, and then that MP will bring it to
the floor of the parliament, of the house, and then the speaker then will admit it and refer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So any form of petition.
Any form of petition. Yes.
And on any range of issue.
Yes, on any range of issue. Electricity. Yes. It's not specific.
So recent power outages.
You can send a petition. Yes, you can, and then we have to then. It has to go through the floor and then goes through the very processes, then the speaker will then refer that to the committee, and then we will begin the investigation. So if we have to then probably involve the energy committee or whatever, then we then have to invite them in, and then we work closely with them.
It's good you are giving this explanation, because all along we all thought that petitions committee is just if someone has something against a member of parliament, you send it to that committee and the issue may be investigated. That's why I wanted a clarity on what really the committee does.
No, the issue is true, but people forget that we actually were being elected to represent the people, the whole country. So whatever we are doing is just to oversee the smooth running of the country by the executive. So if you feel that even minister or some other, or your counsel, or your I'm saying council because we say council, what do you call it, assembly. The assembly is doing things that you feel are not, let's say, environmental issue. If the environmental issue, the environmental problem that you have in your community are not being resolved by your council or assembly, you got every right to send in a petition for parliament to then have a look at.
Okay, all right, okay. Talking about environment, you also serve on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee of Parliament, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about Galamsey. Is the government winning the fight against Galamsey?
I would say yes, because you have to understand that if you start to do something, you have to begin somewhere and then climb the ladder, as you go along. So we came in last year and we still have a mandate, and I believe that whatever the government is doing is working very well, because next week the committee is actually going to the Shanti region to go and visit some of the
Galamsey sites.
Yeah, reclaimed sites.
Okay.
Not Galamsey site, the reclaimed site.
But they are also
from Galamsey. Yes. So they've reclaimed them.
Okay.
So we have the oversight of the ministry. So we are going to see the work that they've done so far, and we are going for 3 days. So I believe that it's in the right direction. I have to be honest with you. Because if we've been able to reclaim sites, that means that the work is progressing, and if the most important thing is the progression of the work. So we are going to have a first-hand experience on the issue. If we feel that they are not doing enough, then we have to then advise the minister,
But people would disagree and say that we are not doing enough. Galamsey is so ongoing. Environment is being destroyed. Water bodies are being polluted and destroyed. We are not doing enough as a country to end this.
I wouldn't admit totally that we are not doing enough. You see, we have to understand that Ghana is a huge area, and gold is being dug from the north right down to the south. Now, as we are talking, we are digging gold in Water region. Now, in the olden days, we don't. It's all based in the central region and the western and western.
But they didn't destroy the environment in the olden days.
Yes, in the olden days, you see, there weren't much sophisticated machines.
Okay.
And in the olden days, when I was young, I had friends that used to do some, when we were young anyway. They were not actually digging the water bodies. But for, due to innovation and whatever it is,
back memories,
yes, we've gotten machines that fan or whatever it is that they use it in the water body itself, which is very worrying and troubling. You understand what I mean? Because when I was young, I know that Galamsey is being done inland. You understand? Not in water bodies. So that is where we are getting all these issues from. And I believe the government and the minister is doing very well. Recently, you've heard that he's revoked the license of Adamus. Adamus is in his constituency. So you can see that he's leaving no stone unturned in doing whatever he's doing. So for me, I think the government is doing okay.
But the committee, what report do you have? What report do you have about the general situation of illegal mining in the country? I'm sure as a committee, you have some reports on the situation on the ground.
Yes, at the moment we are on research. That is why we have embarked on the site visits and then mining area visit. So when we do that, then we come and sit as a committee with whatever we have seen and then go through the report that they've brought and then compare the two and see if there are shortfalls. Then we try to remedy them or just bring up our own report as to what needs to be done. So at the moment, what we are doing is to do the site visiting, and then we come and sit as a committee and deliberate on the report that the agency have brought in.
Let's go to constituency. You've been in office close to 16 months now.
Yeah.
1 year and months. Close
1
to
year and 4 months.
And 4 months. Okay. What have you done so far in the constituency? Let's start with health.
Health, good. With health, what I have done is, secondly, unfortunately, we don't have a hospital. The one that we have is a regional one for the whole Western region. But secondly, as a constituency or community, do not have hospitals. So what we have is one chip compound, one I'll say health center in Zongo, secondly Zongo, and then another one at Maswo Road. So these are the health facilities that we have, and I have decided that I have drawn a plan for the three of them. I want to expand the chip compounds in Ajambra into about 20 bed facility. Okay. They've already gotten a foundation laid, which I have to find resources to just complete that property and then make it fully operational. And then with the Zongo one, they had it, but what they lack is a proper maternity facility. They have a delivery room and they have a recovery room with 5 beds. So what I did was to supply that facility with 600,000 equipment. That includes scanning for pregnancy and a whole lot of all modern equipment. So at the moment, I'm lobbying for a full-fledged maternity block to be built with 10 or 15 bed facility for just the maternity and children and that, because that facility in Zongo has got 10 bed facility. Okay. So what I'm doing is, when we get the full-fledged maternity, we're going to have about 10-15. Then in total, we're going to have about 20 bed for that one as well. And then the other one was built by Honorable Usu Ankoma, and now it has outgrown the number of people. So I'm also looking for money to expand that facility and then furnish it with, the necessary equipment that we need. Although they've given me the list of equipment that they need, which is about 200 to 300,000, I've decided to hold on until I upgrade it, and then I'll put in well refurbished, new equipment to get it done. So in the health aspect, that is where we are. I finished the Zongo one of them, but I'm looking for more expansion. So I'm asking people who can help, or organizations that can help, to come to Secondary and help us.
Let's talk about education.
Yes, in education, that is where most of my focus have been at the moment. Education in Secondary, when it comes to basic education, I started, in 2023. But in 2023, I began with a child having 5 exercise books. Every child. And then I maintained it in 2024. And then when we got to, during the election, I promised that if I'm to win, no child will buy an exercise book within the constituency. And so I started last academic year, and each child had 20 exercise books, and we supplied 300,000 exercise books in the community. Yes.
Every child in the constituency?
Yes, no, in secondary, yes, in secondary, no basic child boarded, a single exercise book. All the primary schools, we gave them, and those in private institution will have to bring their proof of attendance, proof of birth certificate, and then prove that your parent, any one of your parents, is a voter in second year, and you get your 20 exercise books. And we provided 300,000 exercise books. And some of the schools that we thought that they are in the poor communities, we gave them pen and pencils. So if you go to Nkotompo like this, we gave them pen and pencils. If you go to, I think Kwekma, some of the schools in Kwekma also had pen and pencils. So in some of the schools, the child actually never bought anything apart from their textbook. And we've developed it further. I am putting up a printing press that will actually print the books. So we're going to print the books.
The market woman will not be happy with you.
Well, the market woman didn't vote for me. Secondly, that voted for me.
No, so but you have small shops there which sells exercise books.
Well, it is true. Children. It is true. But
if you are going to provide them for free, what happens to their market?
No,
what
but
happens to them as well?
You have to understand.
Obviously, they will not be happy.
It is true. It is true. But the issue is you have to understand that why would people vote for you? Or why would people vote for people like me? Because they want improvement in their life. And improvement in their life is not just building, blocks and putting up buildings and creating roads and all that. They have to have a feel in their living, which is by easing some burden on them. Look, I lived in the UK anyway. We have the social benefit system. Children go to school free. They don't buy books. They join the buses free. And that is the concept that I am bringing in secondary. Children do not have to be a burden on their parent. The parents have to wake up early in the morning, being happy, dressing up the kid to go to school. So if a parent is waking up at the beginning of the year, and knowing that he's not going to buy a single book, a single pen, a single pencil, won't you be happy? You will be happy. And the benefit that each parent is getting, if you have 4 or 5 children, you are getting, if you have 5 children, you are getting 100 exercise books. So the market woman that is selling that book should understand that people voted for me to also create opportunities for them, for the voters.
Is it a one-off thing?
No, it is a policy. That is why I am putting
every academic year you do that.
Yes.
Can you sustain this?
I have actually. I'm in the process.
If you are printing 300,000 exercises every academic year, so if you are doing so, let's say 4 years in your first 4 years,
that's about 4 million.
Yes.
That is why I am putting up the printing press.
That will cut down the cost for you.
Yes, because the printing press is not just going to serve secondary. We are going to sell the books, most of the books to other constituencies at a whole price of 3 Citi 50 pesos. That is the plan, or 3 Citi 70, depending on the rate of the dollar, and then the cost involving, producing the exercise books, so that those in secondary now will benefit from the profit that we are making. And you understand what I'm saying? So now we are actually putting up the printing press. We've secured the place. We are doing the building works, and by May ending, production will start for that particular project. We are providing free buses. Secondary is a twin city. We've got secondary Takoradi. So some of the children actually go to school in Takoradi. Most of the secondary schools are also in Takoradi and Eskado-Katen. So I have been providing free buses, 3 buses per day, morning and evening, to convey the children to school and then bring them back to secondary.
All the schools in the constituency?
Yes, every school child. Every school child. And then with the education as well.
How many buses
I have 3 buses that runs a day, in the morning and then
and
after
how many
school.
schools do you have in your constituency?
The primary basic schools are 20, and then the secondary school we have only 4 of them, and Eskado has about 8, and Takoradi has 3, and then Efia Kwesimintim has 1. So we are talking about 20 schools.
So these buses only take the kids in your constituency?
Yes, in my constituency, but it goes to other constituencies because some of the secondary schools are in the nearby constituency. So it goes there. Those two that will come to the other side, they also join. It's free for all students. That is what we do.
Which kind of bus? The big buses or the
the big bus, the yellow type.
Yellow type.
Yes.
And 3 of them?
Yes, a day.
Every day?
Yes, every day.
Free.
Yes, free. No, there is even what we done. You know, we put up sachet water. We put sachet water company that are producing, selling at 5 cedis per bag to my constituency.
Hey.
Why are you laughing at?
I'm just.
Yeah, just laughing.
It's interesting.
Yes, I have a sachet water. It's called Secunde Insu. Secunde is the local name of Secunde. Yeah. So it's Secunde Insu, and a bag is 5 cedis. And we are producing for the whole Secunde.
Are you not running at a loss?
No, we are not.
You're not running at a loss?
Yeah, no, we've done the calculation.
A bag of water is about 10
10, 12, yeah. 15.
And so if you are selling yours at 5 cedis,
yes.
Looking at the production cost.
Yes,
are you doing this because of politics? Just so
no, what I'm trying to tell you is I was voted to make life comfortable for the people of Secunde.
At your cost?
It is not at my cost. We break even. When we pay the workers, when we pay for the materials, because we are producing in large quantities. So that is what we are saying. We produce more so that whatever we get goes towards our social intervention programs. So we are putting up the printing press. Not that alone, I'm going to put up toilet roll as well, Secunde rolls, and then we are going to sell at a discount. The problem, the policy is Secunde have to be relieved of burden.
And is it for all or for only people who voted for you?
But how do I know the people that voted for me?
Let's say there's exercise book.
It's Secunde, the whole Secunde.
The whole
Secunde. MPP, NDC. My project is for the whole Secunde. You can ask them. And I give interest-free loans as well. Market women take loans without interest. And I started in 2023 before even I won the seat. And it's still ongoing.
You give loans to the market?
Yes.
Interest free?
Yes. And
how much? What's the range?
You will start from 2,000. And then that one you repay that in 6 months. The 2,000. Then when you finish, you go to 3,000. Then you move to 4,000. So when you get to 5,000, the rate of payment from 4,000 upwards is 8 months. And there are people that started in 2023 are getting 10,000, and they are put in a group of 10. Now, as I see here, next Sunday, we are going to do 10 groups in an illiterate area called Assemin. That's where I come from. And I'm going to disburse, I think it's 130. And it's 20 each. So I'm going to disburse 260,000 Ghana cedis for them interest-free. They are beginners. So they are going to start with 2,000.
Why are you getting all this money to do all these things? Because one, you're providing free bus.
Yes.
You pay the workers. You buy fuel.
Yes.
You are producing pure water.
Yes.
Secunde Insu.
Yeah.
You are providing exercise book.
Yes.
You are giving free loans.
Yes.
Your salary is less than 20,000.
Oh yes, of
member
course.
Of Parliament.
Yes, of course.
So why are you getting all this funding to do all these things, which is capital intensive?
It is. The issue is, I'm 50 years and I have worked 25 years abroad, so I was able to save.
So your London cash?
Yeah, I did investment. Actually it is my personal money, I have to be honest with you. And the problem is, I have realized when I came to Ghana, I realized that there's so much the government can do, because we are very much underdeveloped. And the government, take for instance the free education that we have. Go to the basic school, you see the problem that they have, and I've taken it upon me. You see the school building, me in Secunde, I've seen a school building that when I finished primary school 1987, that probably I saw the school, and now that I'm an MP 87 till now, calculate over 30 years, I've never seen the school renovated, painted, or nothing.
The same way it is.
That is the way it is, and they are
has changed.
Yes. And they are deteriorating. You understand? So I have taken it upon me that I will have to renovate all the 20 basic schools in Secunde. At the moment, I've secured 2 million Ghana cedis from an organization which I'm not going to say. Somebody said, "Oh, you need to build a project on your own." I said, no. It is not about building. It is about maintaining what is there. So for me, I am going to renovate, use the 2 million Ghanaian cedis, renovate the school. What I can, I will keep on sourcing for funds. You understand? Because I believe that people have to live in comfort rather than people living in hardship. And when people start living in hardship, it brings insecurity. And when it brings insecurity, that is where we have the armed robbers. That is why we have the stealing. That is why we have, you understand, the infidelity, the teenage pregnancies and all that. But if a young girl knows that he's going to school free, even when he finishes JSS and she cannot continue the education, but rather can get access to capital to trade, she wouldn't go chasing after, excuse me to say, young boys and then get pregnant, and then she then becomes a burden on the mother or the parent, and then becomes a burden on the MP. Now I've got 2 mouths to feed. You understand? And then that little poor girl will come to your doorstep and say, my baby hasn't eaten. So the best thing is to catch them young by trying to develop their mindset. Then they know that there are opportunities, there are avenues. And that is what I tend to create in 2nd. I have created that pure water. We produce morning and evening. I have about 20 workers.
And people buy?
We can't even supply. And I'm even thinking of expanding it. We have 5 machines at the moment. I'm even trying to expand it to 10. Everybody is buying. Everybody wants the secondary issue because they know the concept is for them to buy so that we will use the proceeds to put into the social intervention program. That, I have an educational support. This year I paid the tertiary institutions 2,000 each for 100 students.
You must be very resourceful.
It is no, but you see, these are some of the ideas that I'm telling you. Because look, the exercise books that I am putting up, that printing press, 2nd is 300,000. A Cicado is there. Within the metropolis, we have 5 constituencies. Take mine out. That is only 2nd. We got 4. Even if the 4 constituencies, I'm supplying 200,000 exercise book per constituency. Multiply that by 4. That is 800,000. And I'm going to sell it to them, probably at 4 cities. So if you multiply 800 by 4, I'm going to make money. And that money will then come and help my special intervention programs. Take the toilet roll that I'm going to establish. It's being sold at 30, 35. Even if I sell mine at 27 per pack, I'm still going to make money. And because it's at a reduced cost, people will then rush to buy. And then the more they buy, the more profit I'm going to make. And I'll put it in the social intervention kitty. Because you can't be expecting people to come and give you money day in and day out. So the little that you get, you have to invest it to generate more income for you to push your social intervention programs. The bus that I'm running, I've got 10 workers, 3 drivers, 2, I would say helping hands, we call it mate, in each bus. And then a coordinator at the various bus stops. So if I put them all together, I'm running a workforce of about 10 to 15. When we come to the pure water, there will be workforce day and night. When we come to the printing press, that will be operational in May. Ending.
It will be 24 hours. It's
24 hours. Mama Daroma. Oma and Lighty, and go for a but you see, for me, what I think is we have to be very innovative. The government can't give us everything. For me, I believe that the government's problem is to make sure that the infrastructure is working. When the infrastructure is working, it is up to we, the citizens, to find ways and means to be able to help our colleague citizens. Okay. And that is what I'm doing.
Blay, thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
My guest tonight on Point Blank, Blay Nyameke Ama. He's a member of parliament for the 2nd constituency in the Western region. And that's how we end today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier you heard Fafa Melody. Show produced by Kwabna Wilson, Beverly London, Juliana Odame, and Fred Tete Jabana with technical assistance from Desmo Nyako. So we'll come your way again tomorrow. May the good Lord be with us all.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.